A real tough pill to swallow is to know that most parents never wanted to be a parent. A lot of you probably heard it and it's like, whatever, you don't know that. How can you make that assessment? But it's true. A lot of people didn't understand what parenthood, great parenting takes because nobody taught them. It wasn't modeled to them. Nobody knew why we should be having children. We just knew that we should. So that leads us to parenting without intention. Let's talk about it. My name is Lovelii. I am your accountability coach and ghetto psychologist, and it is my life's purpose to get Black people to mentally unplug from this patriarchal system of white supremacy. So I am literally a school psychologist. If you must know, I'm not fully credentialed yet. I tell people this all the time. I'm not a liar. I'm not a grifter. I'm not out here pulling out leg. I am very close, and within the next year, I will be credentialed. I will be practicing. I will be licensed. So the schooling is already done partially. I already got my master's degree in the middle of getting my specialist degree. That being said, I'm not going to say I'm an expert, even though by societal standards, I would be considered an expert because I am still practicing. Regardless, I want to still talk about how children develop and how parents impede on that development, or they establish an improper way to develop in certain areas. Children are very susceptible. We should know that. Children are very oppressed. Some of you don't think that, but the writings are on the wall. Children don't have a lot of control over what they want, which on one end we understand why, because your brain ain't developed enough to understand consequential behavior. You don't understand how some things work. You don't have experience. So we get why children can't make all decisions for themselves. But because some of that autonomy is impeded on, children can recognize the ways in which they are oppressed, even if it's not really a big deal that they are oppressed. If you get what I'm saying? You going and telling your child, no, we're not doing that today. They might think they're being oppressed, but you're being a parent. So sometimes you have to take it take that into consideration, right? But children still, regardless, when it comes to certain things, we don't give them choices where we could give them choices. I will never forget personally, I might have told this story before. I think I was about 4 or 5, probably 4. And it was this sweater that my mama liked to make me wear. I didn't like this sweater. I did not like that sweater. Not necessarily because it didn't look good. It was just itchy. Okay. I used to be in school just scratching because it itched. And I told my mother this. Now I don't know what tone of voice. I might have used a frustrated voice. I was 4. But I told my mama I didn't want to wear this sweater. I don't like the sweater. It itched me. And she whooped my ass. Now, it's borderline abusive to me when I think about it and dissect it in my psychological mind. But that's a norm, especially in the Black community. You don't talk back. You have no voice. You don't tell me what you're going to do. You're going to do what I want you to do. So we get to this point in our generation, because my mom's a boomer, right? And then you got Generation X after that. And now we are millennials and some zennials raising children. We allow our children to have a little bit more autonomy. Some of us too much autonomy, where we don't understand where that fine line lies, where you have discipline, structure, and yet they still get autonomy. They still can make their own decisions. We don't understand that fine line. And what happens in layman's terms, that can literally F up your child's development, and it can impede on the type of adult they grow into. A child without autonomy will act out. A child who feels as if they are not heard will act out. A child who is getting hit will hit back. They might not hit you, but they're going to hit someone. I know y'all like to get into these conversations about if you should whoop your child or not. You shouldn't. The psychological effects are kind of common sense. When you beat your dogs, They become aggressive. Are we animals? Yes, humans are animals. For the idiot that out there that said no, humans are animals. If you beat your child, they will become aggressive. Common sense, right? But yet, especially in the black community, we have decided that the slave master's ideology should be passed on to those other beings that we are meant to rule over. I tell people all the time, you are not meant to mold your child into who you want them to be. You are meant to mold them into who they are, the best version of who they are. You really can't tell them what to do. Now, you can provide them, again, discipline, structure. You can't tell them what to do and think that they're going to do it. It just doesn't work like that. We're humans. Everybody has their own mind. And when a child doesn't do what y'all want them to do, again, you revert to the slave master's ideology and you want to force. And that force is typically physical. We love corporal punishment in this black community. We love it more than white people. White people are not whooping their children in the same rates that we are. Now, they whoop their kids. Know that. It's white people and black people. Well, black people on top of white people when it comes to the percentages of who. I'll put it up here. When it comes to the percentages of who beat their kids the most, is going to be black people. Then white people, then Hispanic people, and Asian people on the bottom. There is a correlation between children who are exposed to corporal punishment and their social status. Asian people make a lot of money. They make more money than white people. They're just a smaller percentage. A lot of people don't know that. Asian people in America make more money than white people. And they whoop their children less. That's a direct correlation. That being said, as black people, we already know where we fall on the totem pole. We're on the bottom. And we whoop our children the most. It's not a coincidence that this is happening. It's by design. It is by design. We believe that there is no other way for us to discipline our children. What we think is discipline is really just punishment. Whooping your child is punishment. It doesn't really enforce discipline. Discipline is enforced by a set of repetitive daily actions, boundaries within those actions. If you do this, this is what will happen. This will go away. Not if you do this, I'm going to whoop your ass. That's just a one-time punishment type situation. But if you do this, I'm going to expect you to do this every day for this many days straight. It's not about necessarily taking away things using negative reinforcement, but it's about enforcing a boundary over and over again that relates to whatever it is you're trying to discipline your child in. If it's phone use, guess what? You set a downtime or whatever app Androids use and limit their screen time. That's how you create discipline. Add something else on top of it. Hey, 3 o'clock every day, you gonna run a lap. And if you don't do this, this is what's gonna happen. And you enforce it. That's discipline. Beating your child is punishment. Do you want to be a punishing parent or do you want to be a disciplining parent? Me, I want to discipline. I don't need to punish my child. And a lot of times the behaviors that we are trying to punish them for are not that big of a deal. They talk back. Okay. Can they not have their own voice? If they're being disrespectful, then you just correct them. You don't have to punch them in the chest. And it's like, how is it that we don't understand the disrespect it is to put hands on our children, but we understand the disrespect it is to put our hands on a stranger in the street? Why is it that we feel like we have that right? Respect and violence are not the same. They can't go hand in hand. You don't exhibit violent nature and behavior towards people that you respect. And if you do, that means in most cases something is wrong with you psychologically, mentally, or emotionally. If I go around here smacking people that I respect, nobody's going to believe that I respect them. It's a basic area of respect that we are missing for children. And I don't like it. As somebody who works with children every day, I don't like it. I treat children like kids. I treat them like humans, human kids, human babies. I talk to them. I explain things to them. I'm patient. I'm more patient with children than I am with adults. Because you should know better. Cussing you ain't gonna be no problem. Because your grown ass should know better. But a child, I have more patience for. And see, a lot of people will be like, well, you probably get manipulated. Can't nobody manipulate me. I ain't been manipulated for a long time. Even when people would manipulate me, I knew I was being manipulated. It's just the people pleaser in me used to just let it go on and just be like, whatever. I already know what they're doing, but I don't mind it because I'm gonna do it anyway, right? That was me. I'm not like that no more. They don't serve me. I always know when people try to manipulate me. So a child damn show can't manipulate me because I ask too many questions. That's my problem too. Well, it's not really a problem, but my problem with them is that I ask too many questions. So a person who asks questions is hard to manipulate because eventually the person who's doing the manipulating are going to run out of answers unless they just a master at that shit. Then I'm scared. Some people are masters, they're master manipulators, but I like to see them come up against me, the person that like to say no and ask questions. It's hard, and this is why I like to talk about belief systems. Right? You have to understand having a certain belief system it can either serve you or end you. And what happens with y'all belief systems is y'all make them, I'm sorry, it's a net. Y'all make them become a part of who you are. You internalize your belief system so much that it becomes a part of your personality. It becomes a part of how you move in daily life. It becomes a part of how you see the world. It becomes a part of how you see yourself. And when that happens and you don't make space for the fact that, or for the possibility that the belief that you hold can be false or it can be working against you, when you don't make space for that, when it ever is proven to you, you're either going to do one or two things. It's literally regularly never any in between. You're either going to double down on that belief despite the fact showing you that the belief is not right and it doesn't work in your favor, or you're going to go through an intense struggle, spiritual awareness, spiritual awakening, intense epiphany, realization, self-realization. It's going to be hard because you're going to start questioning if anything that you believe in is real. It shatters you when you find out that a belief system that you internalized is not real or it has some false elements to it. So you have to make space. So if I tell you, hey, whooping your kid is a slave mentality, you got that from your white slave master, your ancestors' white slave master. You got that from the ideal of spare the rod, spoil the child, when really that scripture is not talking about physically beating your child. It's not talking about that, but y'all really believe, you believe that you are supposed to beat your children. You're supposed to whoop your children. You're supposed to physically hit them. So much so that when you look at kids out here misbehaving in the street, you think they're not getting whooped at home. But the fact is they are. That's likely why they behave the way they do, because they are getting beat at home. And I never considered this before, but it's been some talk. I've heard this probably twice, where a lot of kids, black kids or just kids in general, who get spanked on the behind, it's almost like a form of SA, which, it's some reaching elements, but there's also some pieces of it that I understand why people are saying that. Because if you are beating someone on their behind, you are literally tapping their sexual nerve endings, right? Because your genitalia is in your behind. So if I'm getting whooped or I'm getting spanked on my butt and I'm starting to feel these sensations down here that I'm not supposed to feel right now, early on in my life, naturally, maybe a little later on, but I'm feeling it now. You making me curious. You awakening a part of me that shouldn't be awake yet. Y'all see? And I get that. I kind of understand. It makes a little sense to me. I never considered that it could be related to SA. And then if we get in even deeper, because I talk about this, I used to talk about this all the time. Circumcising your little boys, also, I feel like it's a form of SA. People gonna be like, you reaching. But think about it, right? It's a form of mutilation. Removing anything from your body that's fine. If I just cut this piece of skin off right here, I'm mutilating myself. Ain't nothing wrong with it. I'm just peeling it off because somebody told me aesthetically I'm supposed to, or ritualistically I'm supposed to. The pain is still there. I feel that shit. It's gonna be sore tomorrow. My nerves are going. They damaged. Even if I'm not consciously aware of the trauma surrounding me peeling the skin off my hand, subconsciously I'm aware of it. So this is where little boys first get their sensation in their penis when they are circumcised. And then we wonder why men are always trying to fuck the feeling back into their penis when they're circumcised. I swear, I say this all the time. Y'all, like, some of y'all be trying to, seem like y'all trying to fuck feelings back into it. Because that piece of skin did something. It's almost in a way that I don't see too many circumcised guys. Too many uncircumcised. Hold on, I'm saying it wrong. My bad, y'all. If you got the smart, because I'm keeping this in here. I make mistake, play a fuck up too. But no, like the uncircumcised men, I don't seem to, I don't know a lot of them, but the ones that I've seen, they're not, like, they like to have sex, but I can't explain it. It's just hard, okay? It's just hard for me to explain. But yes, we oppress our kids. Some of us become our kids' first bullies. We don't support or foster their dreams. And we're not real with them in a compassionate way, in a, what's the word I'm looking for? In a graceful way, right? A compassionate or graceful way. Because, sure, your child might have a dream that's far-fetched, far-reaching. It's not up to you to tell them that they can't do it, though. And somebody try to argue with me. Well, some of these kids, you need to stop telling them that. You need to tell them they don't need to do this. And no. I will never tell my child they can't do something. That's the worst thing you can tell a child. You can't do something. Because you don't know what the fuck they can do. And you are suppressing a part of their dream just because you don't have the confidence or the wherewithal to believe in the unbelievable. I won't tell them they can't, but I will ask questions. Like I said, I ask questions. How you gonna do it? Why you ain't did this yet? Why you not doing this? Well, if you do this, this is how this might turn out. Have you ever looked up this? Have you seen this? So I'm going to direct you in the direction of, you might not be able to do this, but I will never tell you just 100% definitively can't. I will never do that to anybody, because I don't know what you can do. God done showed me some things, and I see what God done did for some people who would seem like that shit should never happen. I see what happens in this world. Damn near anything is fucking possible. So no, I'm not gonna tell you you can't, but if it's a low chance, I'm gonna let you know it's a low chance of it happening. So be realistic with them. Show them the way. Don't show them where you want them to go. And this gets into a deeper topic of accepting your queer children. Again, I hear the voices. I hear I'm not accepting that. That's an abomination. And I'm going to ask the question that I always ask. What's wrong with being gay? Fuck that Bible that man made, and it's already been proven that they altered. It's been proven. They added homosexuality in 1948 for the 18th millionth time. I'm saying this. It was not originally in the Bible. What they originally were referring to in that scripture was men laying with men and practicing sexual deviance. Like unconsensual and doing all kind of crazy shit. It wasn't never necessarily about being gay. That being said, what's wrong with being gay? Logically speaking, what is the problem with a man laying with a man or a woman laying with a woman? What is it? Logically speaking, leave religion out of it, because religion is not logic. Sorry. What's wrong with it? This one for all my niggas in the whole wide world. Hey, Jay here, and I am the voice of my ancestors that could not speak. For those of you who agree, this is some gear for us. This is an original statement with the Black American flag that I came up with, and it is near and dear to my heart. I love this statement. I will probably say this for the rest of my life, because it is important for us to be the voice of our ancestors who could not speak and to represent this everywhere we go. I'm telling you, when I walk in a room full of other people, they look at me when I wear this. When I had the hoodie on, I was intentional, and they recognize exactly what I'm saying and what I mean. It's very important that they know that. All original black 24/7 365 available in multiple color hoodies. Breathable hoodie. Now the other one was a fleece. This one's a little bit more breathable. I have t-shirts also in the same colors. It says Solon, soul of an African nation, if you're wondering. Okay, it has the United States in the background with the black people representative in the forefront with their fists up, representing a brand new day. All of those were original designs. Now, this is not an original design, but it is available in multiple colors and for a limited time. All the Juneteenth merch that you see here is available for a limited time. Of course, because Juneteenth is only once a year. Make sure you check it out and shop black owned for this Juneteenth. Okay, it doesn't make sense to get these same shirts from somebody that you know is not black. And some of these colors only I will have. Okay, check out the link in my bio or below. All available at the Living Lovely brand. Make sure you check out the specials exclusively available website livinglovely.com. I love you guys. Then we got to get into a deeper aspect, because a lot of times what y'all don't like about homosexuality is the fact that y'all don't like sex anyway in general, because you've been taught that sex is taboo your entire life. Starting with as a child, everybody was limited in their experience of sex. No, you shouldn't look at that. You shouldn't do that. You shouldn't hunt. You shouldn't this. You shouldn't that. You shouldn't touch yourself there. You shouldn't do this. You shouldn't do that. And again, what people don't realize is when you suppress or try to oppress people from something that they are naturally curious about, it doesn't stop the curiosity. It actually heightens it. Oh, you want to keep me away from this? Why? Yeah, I really want to know what it's like. So in our quest of under sexualizing our children, we actually over sexualize them, and we introduce them into something inadvertently. They become more curious about what they don't know, versus if you are open and honest with your children about sex from the get-go, the curiosity, it doesn't peak that high, because they know what's up. Nobody can tell them what you should be telling them at home. If you have a queer little boy, little girl, it's okay. Just talk to them. Don't put in their mind that they're queer, but you can ask them questions. Dig a little bit. Know your child. Know what they want, because you can suppress what they want as they young, but it's still going to come out anyway. People are who they are. And even when you try to change who they are, they likely still will become it. Or if they don't become it, it's because you tried to change them, and they're going to become the worst version of themselves, because they can't be who they want to be. And that's the biggest issue we have in the world, is how we parent. That's why continuously this world is going to be fucked up, because a lot of people are parenting in a way that develops sociopaths, psychopaths. You're parenting a sociopath, not necessarily that they came out the womb as a sociopath, but you're making them into one. You won't allow them to feel. You won't allow them to express themselves. You beat them. Need I say more? All the elements of a fucking sociopath. It comes from the parenting. It comes from the abuse. It comes from the trauma. Some things are inherent. Some things are hereditary, sure. But some things are not nature. They're just nurture. So be careful with how you parent your children. And make space for your mistakes. Learn to apologize. I tell my child all the time, look, whatever I did, I'll pay for your therapy sessions later. That's all I can say. And sorry over and over again when I know I'm being wrong, or when I did something later on. I've been apologizing to my child for a long time, basically her whole life, because I know I be fucking up. But me being humble enough to my child to let her know I know I'm fucking up, that you just have no idea how big that is to a child. She trusts me. She trusts me enough to apologize. She trusts me enough to know that if I hurt her feelings, it's never intentional. It's not me lashing out towards her because of her. It's me lashing out because something wrong with me in the moment. She gets that. We talk about these things. Y'all don't talk to your kids. You don't tell them the real. You want to shelter them. I get it. But they're going to go out here and they're going to learn the world from the world when you could have taught them the world at home so they could be prepared for it. And that's just really, when you shelter them, you're sending them out to the wolves. They can't be under your titty every fucking day. Again, for the last time. Shelter your kids, but don't hinder them if that's what we're going to do. Do not stop them from growing up. It backfires. You will deal with some serious arrested development. You might deal with some kids who will never be able to make decisions for themselves. They are pushovers. So many things that can develop off of children who can't speak their mind and express themselves because you as a parent feel like you got to be a warden or a helicopter parent and you do everything for them. Then they can't go out here and do anything and fend for themselves. So many elements of bad parenting that we exhibit in this society. But understand them first 10 years especially is crucial when it comes to autonomy. And you have to recognize the levels of autonomy you need to give your children. You can't chastise their mistakes. Let them fuck up. Let them learn. Don't. And when they make a mistake, don't make a big deal about it, because we all make mistakes. It's okay. Teach them how to be level-headed so that they can be become adults who know how to be conflict resolution oriented. Otherwise, when conflict comes, they're going to run or hyperventilate, have panic attacks. They don't know how to handle things. They run. It's just, you got to be able to train your children in the way that they should go. Make them better than you. And that takes self-awareness. And a lot of people lack that. And a lot of people, like I said in the beginning, became parents because somebody told them to, not because they really wanted to. A lot of us are not parenting with intention because we don't know why we want to have kids in the first place. First of all, we're just fucking all willy nilly. There's so many people I know tell me I didn't want to have kids, and now you got multiples. Did you really not want to have kids? It's like, I don't know. Me, my brain, I knew I wanted to have children, so that's why I got one. But I don't know how you know you don't want something and you do everything against that. I don't know how that works. I don't know. But people tell me. And I'm just like, well, okay. See, you parenting without intention. You should parent with intention. You should not necessarily have like a plan for your child, but a plan for why you want to have children. What does that mean for you? Are you having children because you want to extend your legacy? I hate that. My daughter's not my legacy. My legacy is what I leave the world. Sure, in some aspect, I'm leaving her behind when I perish, but she might go before me. So, you know, children can't be your legacy or just only your legacy. Maybe a part of it, but at the end of the day, they got their own path to walk. When you want your children to be your legacy, what that says to me is you want them to continue on your work. What if they don't want to fucking do that? So no, to me, I don't think that's a rational reason, but it's people's reason, whatever, to have kids. Is it not rooted in creating a better society? For me, if I have children, or more children, I should say, I want to make better humans for this world. That is what I'm doing it for. I want to have children because I know I'm a great mother, and I want to love someone into an amazing human. And so far, I'm doing really great. My daughter's amazing. I'm not even saying that because she's my daughter. I'm saying that if I met her and I wasn't her mother, I would still think she's amazing. She's very talented. She's sweet. She's funny. She got personality. She's cute as fuck. I love my child. But regardless, that's what I want to be a mother for. The love I have to give. Not the love that I'm going to receive. And see, that's a lot of parents reasoning for having kids. They might not say it out loud. They want somebody to love them. I don't have to be loved. I want to love. Because I got it to give. I got it to give me. And I got it to give other people. My child specifically. It's always been about the external for me when it comes to most things. It's never about what I can get, but what I can give. That's probably why I get a lot. Humbly saying. So, that being said, if you are a person who's watched this all the way through and you are thinking about being a parent, or you're a person who's watching this and you think about not being a parent, understand I relate more with the people who don't want to be parents, even though I always wanted to be a parent and will still always be a parent. It might be a parent again. Who knows what God got in store. I'm not particularly intending to do it, but if it happens, it happens. But if you are either one of those people, which is basically, and you don't have kids, like I said, think hard about it because this is not a decision to take lightly. This is your life and someone else's life. Don't parent without intention. I will never forget, I asked the girl a while back, maybe almost 10 years ago, why does she want to be somebody's mama? And she couldn't give me a reason. She actually got mad that I asked that question. I was not trying to be funny. I was being serious. Because you need to have a reason why you want to be a parent. And not because, again, you want love. These are human beings. And when they come out, they do the unpredictable. They cry all the time. They needy as fuck. And they selfish. Children, babies, they selfish. They start off like that. So you got to be real. You got to be pure. You got to understand some of the things that come with it. Now, again, you might not know what you get into until you get into it. But you got to have an idea so you can be prepared. Parent with intention. That's all I got to say. So just to break down what I was discussing earlier about children's stages of development. At first, especially, the first two stages that really shape our autonomy as humans. That first 3 years are the most vital to making a child feel welcome, loved, and that they can trust, and also that they can do things on their own. When you don't allow them autonomy in those first two stages, they can learn to develop what we call learned helplessness. So that means that they rely on everybody else for what they can do or what they should be able to do. We do not need to hinder our children that way. And then you can look at the rest of these and kind of deeply understand why those first 10 years and especially even 18, if you want to go even deeper, are important in our stage of development as humans. Again, if you like this video, subscribe, dig it, drop a comment. Again, my name is Lovelii. I am your accountability coach and ghetto psychologist, and it is my life's purpose to get Black people to mentally unplug from this patriarchal system of white supremacy. Free sample available. Check out my book, Going to the Eye. Some of the things that I talked about are in this book as well. Love y'all. See you in the next one.